Melbourne is looking an absolute picture. We are blessed with a perfect day at the MCG for the 2006 AFL Grand Final between the reigning champs, the Sydney Swans, and the West Coast Eagles. The Swans finished the home and away season in 4th position. The Eagles finished on top. Swans got the better of the Eagles in the qualifying final, but now they meet again as they did in last year's grand final.
Just the roar of the crowd, we jumped through the banner, and just the roar of the crowd, it's just something I'll never forget. It was, you cannot describe it, but 100,000 people just screaming, and when we're doing a little bit of a one, you're just looking around the ground, it was just packed to the rafters.
I felt a lot more pressure going into the second grand final than the first one. The first one, lucky to be there. The second one, we were expected to win. Well, not lucky to be there, but you felt lucky to be there. The second one, I really felt that the public, the coaches, the footy club really expected us to win, and almost like winning was a foregone conclusion, but there was a lot of hard work to be done before that.
As McVeigh and Cousins get into it before the opening bounce, we're away in the grand final of 2006.
Lynch will come into play here, actually stays out of it. Chick, and they're inside 50, and again. It is Hansen.
Rebuilding the team, which John did with his staff over that period, was a terrific performance. I mean, it was a really workmanlike team as well. We had our stars, we had our engine room, and we had our really great players, but they played together. It's a remarkable performance by a group of young guys who all came through together and performed an incredible feat.
Off to Embley, puts the foot down. Andrew Embley runs to 50, and he's got it, has he? He barely raised a sweat.
After broadcasting 2005, and again I talk about the disappointment and you're learning from it, they were able to come back and under extreme pressure get over the line and win what was one of the all-time great contests. I've called a lot of grand finals, fortunately, in the last 15 seasons since I've become a commentator, and that was one of the most memorable grand finals for me, just because of the pure contest, the tightness, the man-on-man duels all over the ground.
Some help from Selwood, Daniel Kerr, individual effort, absolutely superb. Virtuoso stuff through the middle, he took it on too much in the end. Judd trying to help out, play on the call. Stengel in the hurried one. Got to be tough. Armstrong steps up.
Part of it is something that you'll cherish for the rest of your life. But I think what's important was that it wasn't just the 22 players that played that game. It was a collective group involvement. You look at guys like Jamie Graham, for example, who played the preliminary final, and he missed out on the grand final, but he handled that extremely well, and the role that he played throughout the year, and others for that matter, was extremely critical in actually helping that group win that year's premiership.
He's still going, Buchanan, out to Malcheski, the young man, Nick Malcheski, he's kicked it!
You were never comfortable through the whole 100 minutes, 110 minutes, however long it went for, but we knew Sydney were going to come back, and we just knew it. And for 10 minutes, when it was like 6, 7, 8 points the difference, it was one of those things where you had to go, and in grand finals you have to do it anyway, but when it's your turn to go, you've just got to go. There's going to be no tomorrow, there's no excuses. If you break a leg, if you get 10 stitches, if you get knocked out, it doesn't matter, because you know that your teammate will do the same when it's his turn to go, and that's the mindset you got to have when you have 22 players. You have that mindset where it's my turn to go, and if I'm going to get injured, I'm going to get hurt, it doesn't matter, because Darren Glass or Daniel Kerr will do the same if it was his position. So it's just that was a feeling, and we weren't going to let it slip, and that was just an unbelievable work rate, unbelievable intensity. It's nothing I've ever dreamed of, and I will keep dreaming of it.
I think there's a heap of moments in a game that really stand out. Obviously Chicky, which will be Chicky smother and then block to give Hunts that opening goal, that'll be spoken about for years.
I was having a reasonable sort of day, gotten a few touches, but hadn't kicked any goals, missed one I think. And then the chick smother, Shepherd and the handball to me, it was something that will stay with Chicky and myself for forever. It definitely gave us a bond stronger than too many blokes that I've played football with. yeah, just a fantastic feeling, and yeah, something I'll never forget.
Obviously after a grand final you go out and you have a few beers, so I don't really have a great recollection of the game. It sounds bad, but I can just remember grabbing the ball late in the game, really late in the game, and crossing the ball with Rowan Jones, and we're only up by a point. And as the ball hit my boot, that phrase went through my head, I've just lost this grand final. Luckily Jonesy made an amazing contest, or Sydney would have rebounded and probably kicked a goal. We would have lost by 5 points, and I probably would have had to leave Perth.
Rowan Jones probably never got the accolades he deserved, but what he, as a team man, what he gave to our football club, and especially on the biggest day in September, was something I'll never forget.
Can the Swans do it? Sequel would be just as good as the original. The West Coast Eagles are the premiers for 2006, and the Stars, Cousins and Chris Judd now have the medal they really want to put around their neck.
12 years of disappointment over for West Coast. They have won their third premiership in history.
A strange emotion. It was more emotional relief. After losing the year before, you don't often see teams get another crack at it.
Well, 12 years seems a long time between, you know, winning flags, but for clubs that have only won one and clubs that don't win a lot, it's not a long time. You know, you should win one every 16 years or 17. It might be now 18 years on average, but it just doesn't work like that. They're hard to win.
The winner of the 2006 Norm Smith medal is Andrew Embley of the West Coast Eagles.
Oh yeah, obviously. Just to sort of play your part on the most important day is good. You know, to this day, Coxie still comes up to me and still gets stuck into me about, he reckons it's probably the only good game I've ever played for the football club. But you know, if that's the case, then it's a pretty good bloody day to do it.
Yeah, absolute elation, relief. You know, finally we'd reached the pinnacle, and from all the hard work we'd done from years and years before to get over was pretty special. I think that's probably the only thing you can really remember from it, just to then embrace all your teammates you went through the battle with.
I'd experienced winning an AFL grand final, and those guys, well, that's what they were playing footy for, and I was really hopeful that with the talent we had in the squad, they would get the opportunity to play in a grand final and show people how good they were, and then hopefully win one.